In the annals of history, few figures evoke as much intrigue and tragedy as Zedekiah, the last king of Judah. His reign was marked by a tumultuous struggle against the might of Babylon, a conflict that would ultimately lead to the destruction of Jerusalem and the fall of the Davidic dynasty. As we delve into the life of Zedekiah, we uncover a narrative steeped in political machinations, prophetic warnings, and the harrowing consequences of defiance. To understand Zedekiah's reign, we must first immerse ourselves in the historical context of Judah during the late 7th century BCE. The geopolitical landscape was fraught with tension as the mighty Babylonian Empire, under the rule of Nebuchadnezzar II, sought to expand its dominion. Judah, a small kingdom with a rich heritage, found itself caught in the crosshairs of this imperial ambition. The significance of the Davidic dynasty loomed large, representing not just a royal lineage, but the very identity of the Jewish people. The promise of a Messiah from David's line was a beacon of hope, yet it also cast a long shadow over the kingdom's fate. As Nebuchadnezzar tightened his grip on the region, Zedekiah was thrust into power, installed as a puppet king in 597 BCE. His ascension was not one of triumph, but rather a desperate maneuver by Babylon to maintain control over Judah. Imagine the weight of the crown on Zedekiah's head, a symbol of authority that was in reality a gilded cage. His predecessor, Jehoiakim, had been taken captive, leaving Zedekiah to navigate the treacherous waters of loyalty to Babylon while grappling with the expectations of his people. How could a king lead when his strings were pulled by a foreign power? In this precarious position, Zedekiah faced the prophetic warnings of Jeremiah, a voice of conscience amidst the chaos. Jeremiah's prophecies were stark and unyielding, urging Zedekiah to submit to Babylonian rule and warning against rebellion. "Do not be deceived," Jeremiah implored, "for the king of Babylon will surely come against this city." Yet the allure of independence tugged at Zedekiah's heart. The tension between the prophet's counsel and the king's ambitions created a palpable strain, one that would ultimately lead to catastrophic decisions. As the winds of rebellion began to stir, Zedekiah found himself swayed by local factions and the fervent desire for freedom. The psychological burden of leadership weighed heavily on him. What drives a leader to defy a powerful adversary? Is it courage, desperation, or perhaps a blend of both? Zedekiah's choice to rebel against Babylon was not made lightly. It was a culmination of hope, fear, and the intoxicating promise of sovereignty. The decision to challenge Babylon set in motion a series of events that would culminate in the brutal siege of Jerusalem. For 18 long months, the city endured relentless attacks, a harrowing period marked by famine, disease, and despair. The once thriving streets of Jerusalem became a haunting tableau of suffering. Families were torn apart, and the cries of the hungry echoed through the walls. The military strategies employed by Babylon were ruthless, and the defenses of Jerusalem, once thought impenetrable, began to crumble under the weight of despair. How does a city, a symbol of faith and resilience, fall to such depths? At the heart of this tragedy lay Solomon's Temple, a sacred edifice that represented the spiritual and cultural identity of the Jewish people. Its destruction was not merely a physical loss, it was a profound spiritual blow. The temple stood as a testament to God's presence among his people, and its fall signified a rupture in the covenant relationship. The events leading to its destruction were steeped in sorrow, leaving a legacy of mourning that would echo through generations. What does it mean for a people to lose their sacred space, their connection to the divine? In the midst of chaos, Zedekiah attempted to escape the impending doom. His flight from Jerusalem was fraught with peril, a desperate bid for survival that ultimately led him to Jericho. The geographical significance of this ancient city loomed large in his narrative, a place of refuge that would soon become a backdrop for tragedy. The emotional weight of fleeing one's own kingdom is unimaginable. What thoughts raced through Zedekiah's mind as he left behind the city he once ruled, the people he once vowed to protect? Captured by the Babylonian forces, Zedekiah faced a brutal fate. The execution of his sons before his eyes was a moment of profound tragedy, a psychological torment that would haunt him until his last breath. The weight of witnessing such violence, the loss of his lineage, shattered the remnants of his kingship. In that moment, the irony of his fate became painfully clear. A king who sought to defy Babylon would ultimately pay the highest price. As Zedekiah's story unfolds, we encounter the fulfillment of prophecy. Jeremiah had foretold that Zedekiah would go to Babylon, but never see it. The theological implications of this prophecy resonate deeply, raising questions about divine sovereignty and human agency. How do we reconcile the tension between prophecy and free will? Zedekiah's fate serves as a cautionary tale, echoing the stories of other biblical figures who faced similar trials, each grappling with the weight of their choices. The end of Zedekiah's reign marked a significant turning point in Jewish history. The fall of Jerusalem signified not just the end of a monarchy, but the beginning of a profound transformation. The Davidic line, once a symbol of hope, faced an uncertain future as the people of Judah were led into Babylonian exile. The implications of Zedekiah's downfall reverberated through time, shaping Jewish identity and faith in ways that would endure for centuries. As we reflect on Zedekiah's story, we uncover timeless lessons about leadership, defiance, and accountability. What does it mean to wield power responsibly? How do we navigate the complexities of authority in times of crisis? Zedekiah's choices serve as a mirror, prompting us to examine our own lives and the weight of our decisions. In a world where the stakes are high, the lessons of the past resonate with urgency. Zedekiah's legacy endures in the collective memory of the Jewish people. His portrayal in historical texts and religious teachings serves as a reminder of the fragility of power and the consequences of choices made in desperation. The cultural memory of his reign continues to inform discussions of faith, morality, and the human condition. How do we remember those who have come before us, and what lessons do we carry into the future? As we draw parallels between Zedekiah's challenges and contemporary political struggles, we are reminded of the enduring relevance of his story. The role of prophecy and faith in times of crisis transcends time, urging us to reflect on our own lives in light of Zedekiah's experiences. In a world fraught with uncertainty, his narrative invites us to consider the nature of power, the weight of leadership, and the enduring quest for identity and purpose. In the end, Zedekiah's tale is not merely a historical account. It is a profound exploration of the human experience, a narrative that challenges us to confront our own choices and the legacies we leave behind. As we ponder the lessons of Zedekiah's reign, we are called to reflect on our own paths, the decisions we make, and the impact they have on the world around us. What will your legacy be?